What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Wisdom in the Room podcast. I'm your host, Matthew Gibson, and it's been a while, but I'm grateful to be here, especially with my guys. I'm going to introduce them real quick. I got my boy to my left, Ernest, to my right, Mycah, and my brother, Handz. All right, so I'll let them introduce themselves, but I'll let you also know that they are special, very special to me. Brothers, we're here for a reason. But starting with E, I kind of just let you introduce yourself, tell people where you're from, how we met, and I guess what you do if you want to go there.
Yeah, most definitely. Ernest III, Mooresville, North Carolina native. Matthew and I met back in 2010 as freshmen at Wingate University. Coming into fall camp, we were the only two black offensive linemen as freshmen in the whole room, and well, us two and Mike Miller. So just as freshmen, it was us two, just black dudes, and then we just hit it off from there. And the rest is history, to be honest. And now, as a professional, I'm in supply chain logistics. Been at it for about 5 to 6 years. So,
Bet. All right, Mike, go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's going on? Mycah Gaylord from Greensboro, North Carolina. Matthew and I met on a recruiting trail back in 2011. We were at Wingate together the same night. Instantly, our moms clicked on the tour. I think that naturally led to us clicking, just as individuals from the same area. Common ground there. We ended up staying the night together. The rest was history. From there, we ended up taking a conditioning test over the summer the same day. Funny story, he passed, I failed. We won't talk about that part. I still feel some kind of way. That's the only conditioning test I ever felt. But now in my professional life, I'm in finance. I kind of leave it there, deal with all things financial right now. Currently working on obtaining an investment license to be able to allow me to do things further when it comes to financial things.
To my guy, Handz.
Yo, Juwan Funderburg, man, from Paisley, South Carolina, the country boy of the group.
He's really from Monroe, but we ain't gonna go there.
Technically speaking, you are from Monroe.
And I think I met, I can't remember. I met Matt when I met Ernest. And I think when I really met Mike, I met him at the same time at the other guys, but I saw Mike the first day at Wingate.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this
it was
dude
9 years
cool.
ago. It's hard to say.
We was trying to find the dorms or something. But Handz was like, man, I think 402 down there. And I was like, man, he dressed like me.
Yeah. We're like, okay, he seems like a cool dude. A little light skin with him. And then when I met Ernest and Matt, man, just the vibes connected. If y'all know us, y'all know we just chill. We the same, got the same vibe and everything. But like they said, man, just the instant connection, man. So, my boys, from Paisley, South Carolina, with Wingate, and we met my boys, man. So,
yeah, I think so. I just kind of think it's kind of crazy how we all just kind of connected over time. You know what I mean? And even with E, I remember before I got to Wingate, E hit me up on Facebook at the time. He was like, "Yo, you going to Wingate, bro?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm going to Wingate." And it was cool to have a friend somebody that you knew you was gonna end up linking with, and like what you said, how you and Mike had y'all just he dressed like me, right? But me and E, we liked a lot of the same, some of the same stuff. We did a lot of the same things, whether it be always going to Jefferson. Me and him was faithful with that. Faithful going to Jefferson on forever, as long as you went there.
Yeah.
And it's we was always similar, so it was that connection. But I guess as the group, 402 essentially, even with Dean, Cub, Ness, it's we all just had a connection and it just kind of stayed, man. And so anytime now, it seems all right, so as we graduated from college, everybody's kind of walking in their own path and doing their own thing. it's kind of always cool when we can get back to just chop it up. I always felt like we had real conversations, like especially after school when we finished school, like when we linked back up. And so we back, you know what I'm saying? We're in Virginia Beach right now. All right, came to see you and the missus, you know what I'm saying, for your gender reveal today, Handz, and just like, you know, you having a little boy, man. Yeah. And so like, honestly, for me, what that was doing all week, I was thinking about this, just like, shoot, we are about to go up there, thinking about how life is just flying by. Life is flying by. Like literally 2 years ago, y'all got married. Not even 2 years yet. Is it 2 years yet?
Yeah.
Like a year and a half? It's 2 years. It's 2 years.
You better get it right.
My bad. Either way, it's 2018, right? 2018, y'all got married, and now it's like, y'all got a little boy on the way. A little boy on the way, and it's crazy. And so it just got me thinking about life. You know what I'm saying? It just got me thinking about, like, man, like it's been since 2018, last time I seen you. Yeah. How fast that can go, and just wanting to just be able to vibe with you guys and just click it, chop it up. And I feel like from this conversation, I want to go in a way of talking about like legacy. I know each and every single one of us kind of got our own definition of what legacy is, and even the legacy that you want to leave in this world, right? And whether we articulate it or whether we don't articulate it, I just know that we think about that, and that's what gets us going. Like Mike, I know you're probably one of the most disciplined people in this world. You might not feel like you, but I just like, you know, I feel like I'm a disciplined person, but your junk is on a whole nother level. Like your routines be A1, and it's like nothing's breaking that, and that's hard, bro. That's hard, and so I be wondering like, how the heck you do it? And then like you a person that's just like always, when you put your mind on something, you just gonna get it done no matter what. Your favorite thing to say is, I gotta get up and go to work in the morning anyways, right? Nothing gonna stop that, right? And so like that mentality is always something I guess like I admire about you. Gotta go and get it. And then Handz, like, man, I think like your passion and then just your faithfulness into what you do and to who you are. I think like faithfulness is one of the greatest things that I admire about you. I feel like you're just a faithful human being. Like you always there, and like you can count on you. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's one of those things that like I feel like it ties into your legacy. So I guess the first question I ask is this, because I feel like I'm kind of rambling. But like, what is legacy? Right? When you think about legacy, well, how would you define legacy? Is legacy something that is now? Is it something after you're gone? What is it to you? And I guess anybody can answer if you. That's kind of like that's what I should have gave y'all just before. Let y'all niggas prep.
It's all good. I'll go ahead and go, man. I think it's a combination of both, of now and the day that I passed away. And I think all things build up. So over time, as you go through things in life, it kind of adds to your legacy and what you want to. When you leave this earth, what was your imprint on it? And you know, a big thing for me that motivates me every day is lineage, the future lineage that I'm gonna have, and you know, the things that you talk about when, like I say, I gotta get up and go get it. I gotta do this, do that. No, I don't have kids now. I'm not married right now, but you know, I know that that's something I have aspirations for one day, and to be able to do those type of things and give them the life that they should have, right? And you know, continue to roughen name in an honorable way, right? As you know, my background, my father broke a cycle for the Ruffins, right? And it's important that, you know, I hold that name at a high standard and continue to do things. And you know, as I put my own children in this world, they're in a position to do whatever it is they put their mind to. And I think that's a big part of what my legacy will be and what motivates me every day. And then also, you know, I've been blessed to accomplish a lot of things, you know, just being 26, and you know, as those things continue to add up, that'll be part of it as well. So that's kind of the part of when I'm not here, is those things that I've accomplished over time. But you know, the things as you know, as I am here now on this earth, is to continue to build that platform for my lineage to, you know, so they can do whatever it is they want to do in life, and you know, and have my support, you know, going forward.
Yeah. So, Mike, what do you think? I
think for me, man, when I think of legacy, the question really takes me back to senior year football when, Joe Reich used to do Coach Joe Reich, used to do the senior interviews. And I think the thing that popped to my mind then was, I said, we're all like books. And that's always kind of stuck with me since then. Each day of your life, every opportunity of your life, every moment of your life, you're writing your story. You're filling out the pages of the chapters. You're writing the chapters, right? And so when I'm gone from there, my book, no longer is written. Now it instead goes to the place where it's picked up off the shelf. When people read about me, you know what I mean? What will they think? How will they feel? What will they say? What comes to mind once you pick up my book and you read my story? That's what legacy comes to me or comes to mind when I think about it. Will I have the kind of book that people don't want to put down? Am I the kind of read that you want to read it all at one time? You want to take your time and read it as you go through different stages of life. I mean, that's legacy to me. Then I think about, again, the generational aspect of it, how easy will it be for the people that come after me?
I guess so.
To a sense, legacy to me means that they'll have a high standard to uphold or live up to. But they won't have to work very hard to achieve that just off of the back of the things that I'm deciding to do. You know what I mean? So I do believe in, my legacy deserving handouts. Because that's how their counterparts get.
Tap in, talked about that.
So again, if their counterparts are getting handouts, why can't
Folks
people
that
that come
look like
from
us.
me, folks that look like us, little black boys, little black girls, get those same handouts. So those same head starts, per se.
Yes, sir.
They deserve that as well, and that's what legacy to me looks and feels like.
Yeah. That's great. That's good stuff. And I was saying that I got questions arriving in my hand as we speak. All right, Handz, I want you to touch on that because especially with you, your legacy is coming.
It's coming.
And I connect with you in a lot of ways because we grew up similar, like not having fathers in our lives, and I always think about you in this way because we are creating a path, right, that we haven't seen, molded, right? We're creating a path that we haven't seen molded. And so that's a heavy weight, bro. Because damn, I'm trying to figure out how to be a man without ever seeing really what a man looks like. I had people in my life, but it's one thing, So when you think about your legacy, you got a little man, come on. Thinking about that, what's legacy for you?
First, just legacy period, I think is the impact that you have in the world, but not just the world, in your world. What are people gonna say that knew you, that came across you? What would they say about you? What impact in their life did your life have on them? And with my legacy coming, man, like you said, we're breaking generational curses. And people that don't have to break them, they don't understand how hard it is to break generational curses. And I tell y'all this all the time, man, grow up, man, I don't know. We didn't know anything financially, school-wise, college-wise, anything, man. Basically just going blindly through the process, trying to figure it out. And then hang with y'all, man. Just showing me so much stuff financially, business-wise, everything. And just like you said, just creating your own path, creating a new path. And trying to build a new legacy for your family. It's tough, just being that person. And sometimes I think what if I don't benefit from taking the path that I'm making? But I know my son.
You're saying that.
I'm gonna tell my son what not to do. His godfather's gonna say, all right, go this way. So he gonna, like you said, you gonna have a handout. You gonna know this. And even if I don't know it, I know my son gonna know it. I know it now, but if I don't benefit from it, I know my son, he's gonna have a better opportunity. So my legacy gonna go through my son now. If I don't see it.
Right.
Now you saying something, y'all can chime in with this too, because I be thinking about that sometimes in this way of sometimes I feel don't take this wrong, but sometimes I don't feel like I'm very talented, but sometimes I don't feel like in life, because I know I'm creating this road or map so think of it almost like how Moses in some ways, right? He didn't make it to the promised land.
You don't see the success.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's like you have these, like, I be having a lot of ideas and visions and dreams in my mind, but it's like some days I don't be thinking like, and it could be doubt, but some days I feel like I'm not going to see all that. Maybe that I'm just seeing the visions and I'm just seeing the dreams of like what other people are going to achieve after me. Mm-hmm. That's how I be feeling now, like, because I'm like, wow. I don't know. I don't know if this is for me.
And that depression thought.
There are that depression be sinking in, and it's like it's so much that I see that like, damn, I can do. But maybe my role in my life is to inspire other people to share like some of these visions that I have and inspire them to achieve that. Or my kids are going to be the people that achieve these things, and their kids are going to be the ones that achieve these because generational curses and things
because of how
like
you
that.
set them up.
Yeah. And it's like, it's a heavy weight.
Yeah. I think just in touching on what you're saying and just what we're kind of gathering here, man, what the powerful thing about legacy is understanding that your life's work or what you are supposed to be doing in life may not be for you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I think when you decide as a man or a woman that, you know, generational wealth or successful lineage is your mindset, that at a certain point you've died to self and you're realizing that this ain't about you no more. In a sense, you're gonna end up being a trailblazer. So do you think about the people, you know, that we look up to, you know, just black people in general, you know, Dr. King, Harriet Tubman, you know, Rosa Parks. They may not have seen the fruits of their labor, right? You know what I mean? But those are the people that we look up to off of the legacy that they left. Yeah. So in whatever field you may be in on, you know, however you trying to leave a legacy, I think something that's very important is you got to understand that this very well may mean that you are dying to self, so that somebody can eat off the back of your success. And I think if that's your goal, you're okay with that though. You know, if I don't eat off of it, that's fine. Because again, it's like your song, my kids will never know the pain that I know because they'll never start from the bottom like me. Like that's what that really means. Like that's powerful. Right. Like they really, like I already got them here. So it's all connected. Right. You know, like that's a powerful thing about legacy. Like you are truly dying to self when you think about leaving a legacy. Right.
Yeah. Go ahead. I mean, it's an interesting perspective because that's exactly how I look at it. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, each of us had the opportunity to set up a platform for you know, our future you know, legacy, our children, and you know, it's up to them from there. Whatever they want to do in this world, you know, they'll have the opportunity. Right. And like Handz said, you know, with a support system like, you know, the four of us, our kids literally, you know, have any opportunity
you want to go,
with whatever route they want to go. Right. You know, education, music, finance, you know, supply chain, just whatever it is that they want to do. You know, in this world, they'll have that opportunity. You know, to pursue it, and like I said, we're focused on setting up that platform for them to take it to a different level. So,
and I know every day ain't easy though, cause like honestly, like so, like even like I know I was saying how you are disciplined, and I know, cause I know you, that what keeps you going is you think about that next generation. That's what gets you up in the morning. You ain't even thinking about yourself. You thinking about shit. My little kids ain't even here yet. Right. But when those days, like, how do you create that structure in your life? Because like not everybody thinks like that, but I know that there's people out there who want to become disciplined, or there's people who want to change their mind so that they can change their life, right? Right? I know there's people plug, right? Alright, but I know there's people that want to. How do you shift? I always believe it starts with them, obviously. Yes. But how do you shift? Because when we look back at our lives, like it hasn't always been that way, right? Like, have you always had that mindset of you thought about your legacy?
No, I definitely don't think so. I think for me, honestly, I was very selfish up until the point that, you know, my football career was over. And it's just, and we'll be completely honest, it was just about, you know, Sports, make it to the league. League was always about me. I didn't care about what kind of legacy I was going to leave. I'm thinking about making these M's in the league. You feel me? Like, making it from a small school D2. But, I think when sports was essentially taken away, and I had to find what my true identity was,
talk about it,
and learn what it is I was passionate about. Yes, finance was what I was passionate about, but what I was really passionate about within finance was being able to help other people get better at it.
Yes.
Okay, but then I took that thing deeper. I wanted other people to get better, but I'm not gonna make sure other people are better, but I'm not securing my own line. You know what I mean? Making sure that they're good as well. So again, it's like you said, man. Does the repetitiveness of the cycle ever get to you? Yes. But I think about how much easier me going through that repetitious stage makes it for my future son or daughter when they get to the same point when they're 27. Because I decided to go through it now, how much easier it'll be for them, and that's what pushes me. I may wake up and know I'm going to 10 mortgages in my office, but by me going through those 10 mortgages, when my son or daughter get 27, is that really
right?
It's not
very simple. It's gonna be common conversations, right?
You gotta always. I feel like the thing with the discipline is find what pushes you.
True.
And when you find what pushes you, hold on to it, because no matter how repetitive things may get or how redundant the process may get, you always find or are able to resort back to why you started. And if you remember why you started, you'll never get overwhelmed by anything or the process. That's just my opinion. Yeah,
I get that. That's dope. I like what you just said of remember why you started and hold on to that. Yeah, that's important, bro. It be days I wake up sometimes. I'm like,
bro. Yeah. I mean, that's just human nature. And chime in. I agree with Mike. So, as we know, my career ended early, and the thought process for me coming in from college was a little different. I knew I wasn't a pro, but I knew I could play at that level. So for me coming in, that was my focus, right? So I knew I was an NFL player, but my total focus, nothing about legacy, nothing about my career. It was totally focused on going to Wingate University and playing. Knowing that I can compete at this level, because so many people doubted me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And doubted my ability, right? So that was just my total focus going into college. Was I know I can play at this level, and I'm gonna show everybody I can do it. Right. You know what I mean? And so when that came to an end like that, right? It was a total switch for me, right? So having the focus of showing I can play at that level to now having to focus on, it's time to create that legacy. I'm a regular student now. How am I going to go about this thing, right? So, like Mike said, the ending of my football career really enabled me and required me to tap in to say, what am I going to do in this world, right? And the decision, I was 19 years old, and the decision to leave Wingate University was a business decision. It was the toughest decision that I had to make as a 19-year-old. Yeah. Right? And everything that went into it directly had to do with business. Right? As you guys know, for a walk-on, didn't have a scholarship, had to sit down and make the decision, do the math, and say, is this worth what it's going to cost my future legacy? Is this worth what it's going to cost my parents today? You know what I'm saying? Is this worth what it's going to have, what it's going to take to be a man in this world and create a path for my future family? And, so I had to make that decision at 19 years old, and that was the hardest thing one of the hardest things I've had to do. But giving up that career was that defining moment for me to say, okay, I'm now switching my motivation to something different, which is creating that legacy and finding out what I'm passionate about and how to get there, right? And for me, it took a minute because, as y'all know, out of college I coached. I was in banking. But, then I finally hit supply chain logistics, and it was a combination of it all for me. Like team environment. I'm still, doing my financial stuff, crunching numbers to be a successful business in logistics. But just continuing to be in that team environment and having that competitive spirit is all of what that industry is about. And, I'm thankful to have found that and know that I can, put my future family in a position that they need to be in that industry. But it took making that decision and, like Mike said, my career ending because this is a whole other conversation we can go into.
As
black men, our role models growing up were athletes. You know what I mean? So it was like,
that's all I know I could be.
LeBron James, for me it was LeBron James, Real Reeves, Nick Mango, the Pouncey twins. These guys, I thought I could be Nick Mangold and Marquise Pouncey.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So that was my whole focus for so long. And then, like I said, you have to transition that and it changes. So, but
it's a tough transition, like coming from playing. So like what I'm learning, I'm still like, it's like when you stop playing the game of football, especially when your identity was so wrapped up in the game, like, oh, who are you? I'm a football player. Right. When your whole identity was wrapped up into the game of football, like leaving. So what? I'm like 3 years removed now, and so like for me, it's like I said earlier one time, it's like been an unveiling, and I'm learning so much more about me. I'm learning like when we having conversations all the time with you, and I'm like, man. I think about when I was in school, man, I was in school to just get a degree. Even though I was, if you go and talk to any of my professors, they would say Matthew was a great student, this and that, and like I would have graduated with like a 3.3. But when I look back, I didn't even try that hard. I didn't even really try that hard, and I had a 3.
Football.
That's all I wanted. I wanted to get to the league, right? So like that 3.3 that I had, and now that I learned myself, I'm like, damn, I'm such an intellectual. Like I really love to learn. I love gaining knowledge. I love to like read books and stuff like that. And when I was in school, I didn't realize I like reading books until like my last my junior year in college, right? I'm like, And so it's so much that college is really supposed to be that time you're supposed to discover yourself. And I'm not saying that football stopped me from doing that, but I think it was just growing up. Like you said, we didn't really have the role models. We didn't have like the enough. At least I didn't really have enough of let's help you develop this idea. And I'm not blaming nobody for that. I think it's just more so that whole identity thing. You know what I'm saying? What is being wrapped up in. So like leaving the game, having it taken away essentially, is when you really have to start thinking about, oh man, what are my gifts? Like who am I? What do I do? Right? And realizing that what you do isn't who you are, but like cultivating those passions that you have, cultivating those natural gifts that you have, and allowing and being able to be who you are and take that into whatever workplace, taking what you learned from football and being able to express that. So whether I'm washing a freaking car or whether I am the CEO of my own business, I can express myself in a way that is natural to who I am. And so like with Handz, I think about you, bro. And for like you in a lot of ways right now, you're blazing the trail, right? And like you, somebody that don't really like to, like you your own boss and you like that freedom of being able to move on your own terms, which I can relate to so much. And I think we all relate in that of like wanting to move on your own terms. After the game was over for you, and it's still a process. I know it's still a little process too. What have you been learning about yourself, and like what So what have you learned about yourself, and what else? What other gifts? I guess how are you trying to express that in what you do now? You know what I'm saying?
Question. Like that.
So
I can listen too.
When football ended for me, that was probably like literally, not like mentally, but literally the worst time in my life. You can ask my wife, man. Like I was like we almost wasn't here today. We almost ended it. Like it was bad. Like I tore my ACL. It didn't end the way I wanted it to. Our senior year. Second game of senior year. My first major injury gonna be our senior year in college. Second game of
the season.
So tore my ACL, man. Then some personal things happened in life. Had to move from North Carolina all the way to Virginia. Had to pack up a whole house, put it in the car, go to Virginia. And I know y'all talking to y'all during that time. It was like I was different at that time, man. It was just real bad. And just coming into college, man, it was different for me because you got that thing. I'm about to show everybody I'm that. I'm
you're the guy.
You know what I'm saying? But for me, man, I always said I don't want to make it just for me. I want to make it like I had that that mindset, like, all right, I'm about to make the league to change my family life. Like,
Right.
I'm about to get everybody out. I'm about to show everybody.
What?
But then you got that, but you don't know it. That's weight on your shoulder.
Yeah, and it's a burden. And honestly, it's like, I feel like as young black men, like, it's so many young black men that all put that burden. Because, like, honestly, we grew up watching that shit on TV. And it's like we all put that burden on our shoulders. Like, yeah, I gotta buy my mama a house. Especially, gotta buy my mama a house. I gotta, take care of my sister.
Social media.
What? And it's like, it's a burden that's like, my mama didn't necessarily ask me to buy no house, but I promised her I was gonna buy a house. Mm-hmm. But I remember, like, I made a post earlier this summer where I was just like, yo, it's a lot of ways to buy your mama a house outside of playing football. And like, y'all are the ones, like, y'all two are dudes that kind of helped me realize that, because, and it's like, y'all are trailblazers in your own right. I feel like for both of us, because like, your career ended early. And then your career ended right after school. Mm-hmm. And to see your transition into the professional realm from like, bro, you was a biology major, and now you work in finance, but you tapped in to figure that, damn, that's my passion. Mm-hmm. And then for you, bouncing from coaching to banking, and then like really finding your niche in supply chain management, but then like, all right, your groove and you were really good at it. Right. It's kind of helped me to see that, dang, these dudes are doing well for themselves, but they also like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can buy, if y'all wanted to, y'all can still buy your mama a house or something like that. You can buy your mama a house. You can buy your mama a house, and then at the same time, y'all got that knowledge of like, yo, I can buy another house, flip that, and they gotta get right. Right, and so like, looking at y'all trailblaze in a lot of ways, and that's something that sometimes we don't realize that in our own paths. Like, we might not be always trailblazing. Like, yeah, that's tied to the legacy. We're trailblazing not only for our kids, but we're trailblazing for our friends. We're trailblazing for people who are watching that we don't even realize who are watching. Like, they're watching us like, damn, Mike made it. Oh, that's how he did it. Damn, I could do that. Right. Like, it's so many different ways that you can buy your mama a house if you feel called to do that. Right? And it don't necessarily have to be on that league check. Because, like, I made it to the league. Yeah. But at the same time, being in the league, like, and then having snatched away, like, off of one phone call and then being a rap, thinking like, damn, I'm gonna buy my mama a check from signing a contract, looking at the thing, it's worth $1 million something. And it's like, yeah, I can finally buy my mama that house. I'm gonna eventually get that. Obviously, I gotta make this team first, but I'm gonna buy this mama house, then, you're released. Yeah. Damn, all right, we're gonna get this house. Right. But it takes time, and it's like, all right, now, cultivating them gifts, and it's like, it's so many different ways that you can be a blessing to other people. Right. And go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
I think one of the strongest things I ever had to do was come to grips with the fact that something was taken away, not under my own control.
Say that.
That was therapy in and of itself. I think a lot of times what happens is, particularly black males, is that when you take power from us, when you take the control away, there's an inner conflict that exists. But the issue is we don't know how to deal with that. We internalize it. We don't know how to speak on the fact that I'm really battling something, but I don't really know that I'm battling it. Yeah. And for me, the way that manifested was, our last game at, Wingate, we lost to Newberry. It's time to start training for quote unquote trying to make it, and I just didn't have it. I just wasn't there. Physically I was there, but mentally I'm like, I don't want to do this. Yeah. Like, and I don't know if it's, just how it all played out. It didn't go how the career wanted to go. But I think the biggest thing is when it did not end on the terms you wanted it to end on, you not having that control hurts as a black male.
Absolutely. It hurts.
But one of the most powerful things I ever realized is that the day my career ended was actually the day my real life began.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
And I think that is what has carried me to this point, because then instead of identifying everything else with football, I had to find other things that brought me peace, joy, happiness. Okay. One of those was reading. The other was writing. You always know that I've been, into writing.
Yes, sir.
Then getting into, the finance industry. I'm like, had I known what I know now, man, I would have just been a finance major in college. I would have sat through all them labs and, dissecting frogs, dissecting pigs, dealing with rats. I'm like, yo, Like, so I really think that the day my career ended was the day my life began, because I ultimately realized now I've got the ability to be able to do what it is I want to do.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, something was taken away, but
It's
I
not
truly
everything.
believe that things that get taken away just aren't for you.
Right.
Yeah. Say that again, bro.
Things that get taken away just aren't for you. And I think there's a certain level of maturation that has to happen in a man for him to be able to realize and accept that that's where he is in life. I think all too often, however, we find a lot of black males that don't know how to verbalize that that's where they are in life.
And sometimes
it's not. Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Sometimes it's just that awareness, like they're not aware of it. Like a lot of times, like I've been on a whole journey, and we all know this is like just emotional journey, just like becoming more aware of my emotions through therapy and things of that nature.
Yes.
It's a lot of things that I've been carrying for a very long time, but I just didn't realize that I was carrying this in my mind. I just thought that's how it was.
Right.
And so because I thought that's how it was, I just, we gotta get going. Just like, so if I was ever anxious or if I was ever depressed, like I think about it now, there's plenty of times when I was in college I was depressed, I just didn't realize it.
Right.
And so, but I had football to just get it out. I can go on the field, I can just go hit this
Release,
man. Release these things and not even recognize it. But it's like, like you said, when football ended, my real life began, because now I have to really begin to do the work of whether it's healing, doing the work of processing, doing the work of figuring out who you are. Because at the end of the day, it's just a thing. Right. And
Doing the work of building a legacy too.
Building a legacy. We're building a legacy to go somewhere, man. And like, it's really crazy. It's just crazy to see how far we all come and growing. Mm-hmm. And it don't stop. The growth doesn't stop.
Yeah.
It doesn't ever stop. It's a continuous thing. But to see where we've come in the last 5 years, essentially, the 5 years that we've been 6 for you, since we've been graduated, and to think, all right, where would we be in another 7 years, right? Yeah, where would we be in another 7? It's a blessing to kind of see, because knowing the way our minds work and things like that, it's like, all right, we have the potential to really be a blessing to other people, but more so to the people that we are directly attached to. Mm-hmm. This is song, it's like everything attached to me wins.
Right.
And I like to think like that too, like everything attached to me wins, and it's a quiet confidence that you carry, like, knowing that, like, I'm attached to you, I'm gonna win, you gonna win, you gonna win. So it's like, no matter how far I fall, no matter who I'm attached to, like, I'm attached to winners. Mm-hmm. And not even saying that in the slightest cockiest way, but I'm attached to winners because of our mindset.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And the mindset of like, I'm doing the work to find out who I am. I'm doing the work to make a way for others. I'm doing the work to just get that shit done. Right. Either way. And so I think about legacy all the time, in the sense of like, when I die, I want to be known for somebody who helped change communities. When I die, I want to be known for somebody who influenced generations. Right. I want to be somebody who, like, when they was around me, they felt loved. Right. I want people to feel loved when they're around me. And that's just like, I want, at my core, I believe it's just nothing but love there. And that's what I want people to feel when they're with me. And so, like, I also want to be somebody that helps people figure out who they really are, their true selves. And then I love to be able to expose people to things that they didn't know. Because, like, for me, that's my life. Mm-hmm. Like, if I didn't have certain people in my life that had showed me, hey, did you know, like, you have some, maybe whether it be football camps or whether it be like, I own a business. Mm-hmm. And, like, one of my mentors is a business owner. And like just seeing him out and as a kid growing up and watching him move kind of helped expose me to different things, expose me to different people, and like if I didn't have those experiences in my life, then I'm not sure if I would have ever met y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because my mind wouldn't have been able to recognize an opportunity when I saw it. Right.
And that's the big thing about it though, like to deliver a message, like I don't regret anything about my football career, for sure, because of the people that I've met, the lessons that I've learned. Obviously it didn't go the way that I wanted it to go, but there was always something that I gained from the game. And at every level, when you start from, for me it started from flag through rep and then stopped and went back to high school through college, but at every stage of it, there was always something that I learned, and I'm grateful for it. But when it came to building this legacy, it took losing it to refocus and say, this is what I got to do, you know, to set up what's important for, you know, the Ruffins in the future. And, you know, I'm trying to keep that name at a high standard.
Yeah, and with saying that, man, like you said, they know what their purpose, they know what they got their plan out.
Yeah.
I think me and you, we still, even though it's been, 5 years?
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah, you still
okay.
We don't know. It's okay.
Yeah.
Like, you know, after football ended and everything, came to Virginia, I got a job. I was in logistics for CMA CGM, the cargo shipping company.
Yeah.
I was there for a good 3 years, doing good. Like, they loved me. I was doing good. I probably could have moved up, but like you said, man, I think one guy was telling me, like, I think he was testing me, testing my obedience. All right, you gonna choose this money, or you gonna venture out, try some, just jump
the risk.
Just jump.
Do that.
Yeah.
Just jump. And like you said before, man, I just like, first I just want to show my obedience to God, like, no matter how it looks to the world, no matter what anybody else think, oh, that's a stupid move, you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
I got this, like, stay true to your conviction. Like, don't go out what everybody think. Like, if you feel it, man.
Right.
And that's something I had to learn in life, man. Stop trying to, don't listen to what everybody say.
Yeah.
And I'm still trying to learn, like,
that's a battle.
Like, do what you do, what you feel.
Yeah.
Do what you feel and do what you think is right. Like, and with me now, I can't just think about myself.
Yeah,
I got a wife, I got a son on the way.
Yeah.
I gotta make moves. Like, even if, because I've been out of work since January, February, before COVID. And this whole time, man, my wife been working, she's been on the income. But if I have to go back to work, a 9 to 5, corporate America, whatever, then that's just the next part of my journey. I just gotta do that.
Yeah.
I gotta do that for my legacy.
Yeah, bro. Right. That legacy.
I gotta do that for my legacy so I can move up into corporate America.
Yeah.
Get that family generational wealth through the corporate level. I gotta do it. You gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta make that sacrifice.
I think something too, like, I read this book. Y'all read The Alchemist? You ever read The Alchemist? You read The Alchemist before?
I've heard of The Alchemist.
So, like, The Alchemist, I'm not gonna go on with The Alchemist, but it's a great book. Just read it. It's one of my favorite books. You should read it if you haven't read it. But one thing it talks about is the journey, essentially, right? And along the journey of life, so one of the main characters named is Santiago. And so, like, along his journey, like, he would basically come in contact with people. One of the people, like, that he would come in contact with, it seems like they almost settled, right? They got comfortable, and, like, he'll get to talking to them, and they would have, like, these passions that they really wanted to do, but they was just, like, afraid to take the risk, right? But, like, for him, he just kept on moving on to the next thing, because he had this desire I forgot what it's called. He was trying to get to, I forgot what he was trying to get, but he was trying to get to this thing. And so, like, for him, he was just going to it. He was just off of what you were saying, going off of what he felt. But, like, one thing that I did take away from that book is that along the way, along the journey, like, you might have to make stops, right? So I was like, all right, if I gotta go back to corporate America, all right, I get to go back to corporate America, but I can still be who I am because my identity, number one, isn't wrapped up in what I do. And so now you got that lesson learned. Oh, my identity isn't wrapped up in what I do. I can express myself, right? So, like, for me, like, I recognized that in 2017 when I was working at a car wash. I was at a car wash, I was sweeping up one day, and I realized, like, damn, working in a freaking car wash, and literally, like, a few months ago I was playing professional football. And, like, if I tie my identity in this, I should just go jump off a bridge, because, like, it's like that's the lowest compared to where I was. So seeing that your identity isn't tied into what you do now, like, you are free to express who you are and do what you do. So, like, one thing I recognized through football is, like, shoot, I'm a leader. I know how to, like, connect with people. I know how to make people feel welcome. I'm trustworthy and things like that. And so, like, you can take all those intangibles and take it to any profession. And that's who you are, and express that and be great at it. right? Versus like thinking like, damn, I gotta get this high paying job and sacrifice who I am.
Yeah.
Nah, you can really be that person. And so like what you were saying, like even if you do gotta go back, but it's like you can be yourself versus like feeling like you have to be a certain way. Like you can still express yourself and thrive in it that way and like still make an impact and still, you know, make a legacy or whatever it is, right? And so I just think that's one of the things is that like I know somebody that his name's Steven Stack, he has this quote, he says, who I am becoming is greater than what I achieve. And so just remind me to focus on the journey and just like along the journey, you are going to become who you're supposed to be. So the journey prepares you for the destination.
That's tough to enjoy that journey.
Yeah, because
we
we so caught up.
hard.
We be so caught up to get to that point. I want to get there. I want to get there. That we overlook the fact of where we at right now. Like, yo, we've come so far, but we so focused on getting there that we don't even appreciate the strides and the bounds of where it was like 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Look back is gone.
Right. Damn.
So I should enjoy it.
Yeah. Enjoy the moments. Enjoy the journey. So we can end with this, you know. And I think we kind of answered this a little bit, but I just this is like one of those, you know, one of those questions. One of those past life questions. Nah, it's out there. But nah, so check this. So, all right. You're not at your funeral. You're at your funeral.
You're looking at your funeral.
You're looking at your funeral, all right? Because initially I was going to say 20 years from now, what do you want? I was like, hopefully we live long.
That's good, man.
But if not, you know what it is? Yo, nah. You only have one, but you got to do what you got to do. Shoot that shot. Nah. You're looking at your funeral, right? At the end of your life. And they're speaking about you. You got somebody talking about you. I don't want you to give a eulogy, but like, they're talking about you. What do they say? Ernest Ruffin, Mycah Gaylord, Jawan Funderburg. What do they say? How did you make people feel?
Yeah.
So how did you make people feel? What was your impact? And what would you be remembered for the most? I guess that's how did you make people feel?
It's crazy because I think every now and then I think that question, like I vision in my head like my funeral and like what if like I'm looking down from heaven in my funeral.
Yeah.
I think one, man, I want to inspire people to be true and be themselves. No matter what it is, like be different. That's one of my main things. Like don't try to follow what's popular. Follow what's real. Follow what's true. Follow what's love. I think people will say about me that he's always positive. Even when I don't think I am.
Yeah.
And I always show love. I never show hate to anyone, no matter who you is, no matter like what you do. Like even through high school, man. Like the popular kids, they probably like bullied the unpopular kids. But I always had that soft spot. Like, nah, I can't laugh at that, you know. Right. And then they come at me like they talk to me and stuff. They feel comfortable with talking to me. Instead of everybody else. And I just want my legacy to be, man, like he was love. He was real.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
I think for me, going out, man, one day, a big part for me, I think, in the last words, I guess you could say, by Ernest Ruffin was that number one, work ethic. Do not shy away from the grind. I'll go get mine, man. And
get up and go to work.
Yeah, man. And that's a big thing, and that's a big thing I live by, as you guys know, that we gotta get up and go get it, man. No matter how we get it, you know what I'm saying? We gotta go get it, and everybody's get it is different. But that mentality that I've always had, I hope to carry on, you know, to my legacy and to hopefully be infectious to people who I've been around, and you know, leave an imprint on, you know, our community. What I mean by our community is creating more role models. So like I spoke to a little bit earlier, all four of us growing up, role models were athletes, right? And helping Black kids understand the power of education and that, they can be Barack Obama or, whoever, honestly, a doctor or whatever it is that they want to be. And it doesn't always have to stem from a football or basketball, right? Or whatever sport. And, just understanding that, the importance of getting up and go getting and chasing whatever dream that you have is going to take some work. And as long as you're willing to put that work in, and I just hope I can set that example for a lot of people that, find your motivation, find your interest and motivation and just go get it. Yeah. Straight up. That's good.
I think for me, man, at my funeral, they would say he had a way of being a role model that wanted you to be better than him and was okay if you surpassed him at some point. I think they'll say ultimately that once he learned who he was comfortable in the skin of who he became.
Say that.
I think they'll be able to say that's that good, once he learned who he was comfortable in living life at his pace.
Amen.
And that regardless of what happened around him, nothing sped him up or slowed him down. He was comfortable living life at his speed.
Yes.
I think they'll say his legacy was more than just words. A lot of it was filled with action. Yeah. I think a lot of people will be touched more so by the things that I did to display the legacy I wanted to live versus the things that I say or said to illustrate the legacy I wanted to leave. But I think that'll be the biggest thing for me is that once he learned who he was comfortable in living the life of that person. He found out who he was and then he was comfortable in living that.
With being that man.
Right. Yeah. And that was okay. Yeah. Nothing more, nothing less.
That's good.
I love it, bro. Yeah. I love it. Dang.
They gonna have a quote in my funeral. He don't talk much. He didn't talk much, but he meant what he said.
He meant what he said, bro. Jeez. That's good, bro.
It is, man.
Yeah. This is a great conversation.
Man, I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Gotta do it again.
No, we do. And like, as you know, this could have been a 5-hour conversation if we really wanted to.
Yeah,
but because I got so many things I was thinking about, like, dang, I want to talk about creativity. Yeah. How do you express creativity when you're down? But it's like, all right, we just gonna chop it up one to figure out. It might be like a one-on-one convo. Yeah. But thank you, fellas, for real.
Yeah, man, thank you. Absolutely.
Yeah. I value y'all and I appreciate you because, like, for real, like sometimes, like what Handz was saying, is like you're learning things about yourself. And, like, I realize that this is some shit I'm actually good at, but I have to do it more often because, it's the doubt, it's the, I don't know, man, the hesitation, and just do it.
Okay.
I got on my board at the crib, just do it, right? Get the fear and just do it.
Yeah.
And so, go get it, right? This is that new work ethic, right? The new work ethic might not always be physical, but it might be doing stuff like this.
Absolutely.
Right.
No matter what it is.
Creating. Putting stuff out. Consistency.
Yeah.
And so you all helped. This weekend, this day has helped from when we went to this morning. Yeah. This has helped me to give me a little bit more confidence to believe in myself. Good. Continue to believe in yourself. And it's always good to bring people along with you that's like, man, thanks for believing in me, but just being there, right? Your presence is just enough.
Y'all always motivate and push me. Like every time I put something in the chat, man, I'm like, dang, I gotta go hard. Yeah. Like them boys up there, I gotta catch up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the thing about that is you can't be jealous about that.
Right.
You gotta have that as motivation.
It's not a competition.
This is my circle, so
yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
We're here to help uplift.
This is what we do. Yeah. Just look at your circle. That whole thing is like, what they say is like, show me your 3 best friends and I'll show you who you are. I'm good.
Yeah, that's real. That's real.
Period.
Yeah, straight up.
What did lady say? Period. Pool.
Period.
Straight up.
What did you say?
Yeah.
It's love, man. I love each and every single last one of y'all.
Definitely.
Love you
Thank
too,
you
man.
for coming to Wisdom in the Room podcast. I look forward to this.
Love, peace.